It's January 29, 2025. Another dead holiday. And if you don't know yet, it's Lunar New Year in my home country, Vietnam. But in Vietnamese, we daily call it Tết. It's like Asian Christmas, when you get to spend time with your family and loved ones. But lasts for about 2 weeks. And I've been away from home for 2 years now. Just like every family gathering, I remember around this time, the fridge is always full of food. Not just food, traditional homemade food made by mom, by aunties, by grandmas. But being far away from home means I have to figure out how to get the food I'm craving so badly, just to feel even a little bit closer to my motherland. Well, maybe it is not that bad celebrating this day away from home. But not this year. This year, I'm going back home soon. The next 6 days of my life, I'm just living my days as usual. Extrovert by days and introvert by nights. But somehow, everything I do, no matter in or outside the house, reminds me of the place I was born. We always start cleaning the house a week ahead. Mom takes care of all the laundry, and Dad is in charge of the floors. I wonder what they're doing right now. We always gather together the night before January 1st, the last day of the year, to watch the national TV countdown. It's like a silent norm. Gonna be me, grandpa, and some siblings. But now, it is just me and Chan and Bing. A day before going back, I try to squeeze my time as much as possible. Shopping, meeting my friends, enjoying the cold in Toronto. Before going back to the tropical side, have the glove away, cause I know when I be back, the cold would not be that cold anymore. Today we introduce Miền Tây dishes to our Hong Kong friends. It's funny when in Vietnam we don't know what to make, and here we don't miss any Vietnamese restaurant. At the end of the day, I try to focus on what I still needed to do and start packing. Being a big sister means lots of chocolate and candies and 20 bottles of maple syrups. I don't know why I did that. I thought I need to bring back something very Canada. That's me trying to spend some time with the kids. Everything was settled down and we call it a day. February 6th. Definitely not a good weather day. Early in the morning, I started seeing more and more snow. And by noon, it had turned into a snowstorm. This is me and Noel spending 15 minutes drinking water together because we think we have time. Meanwhile, the snow was getting heavier and heavier, which is not good. My flight is 3 hours. That means I have to get away from here as soon as possible. Well, Toronto, I'm gonna see you when you're getting better. The running treadmill that's not gonna charge my body fat. Here is it. There is always something to learn around the corner. We look, but we don't charge. I don't know about you, but I love layover. As an example, not yet 2 hours, and I already finished 2 main courses. This sound. And just like every international student, the first thing I do when I go back home is But the first 3 days, I made a very basic mistake. I have been traveling by car the whole time. Yup, what am I doing? This is not Saigon, but this is so Saigon. Saigon is putting on a helmet and joining the traffic jam. The Saigon people, just like the city they live in, they never stop moving. The only time they stop moving on the street is either for breakfast, morning coffee, or red light. But just right after it turns blue, the engines get loud together again. The traffic also did not seem to slow down a bit after 9 p.m. Or in fact, the fun seems to only start after 9 p.m. Saigon is and if you ever visit Vietnam, you know Vietnam is not about fancy restaurants. It is all about the local food, the comfort food that you can randomly find on the street and passed down from generations to generations. And whenever I see a place that looks like this, but full of local people, I know for sure the food gonna be a hit. And of course, I didn't waste a single time to stock up my stomach. When I get tired of the fast moving of the urban city, I go back to my true home. My hometown is a city that lies in the Mekong Delta region of southern Vietnam. Although I don't live in the rural area, the city where I grew up got a charm that is all its own. It's a beautiful, quiet city, and the tropical climate here grants us a vibrant culture and a rich history dedicated to fruit orchards. So it's not so right that I have to pay for overpriced packaged coconut water the last 2 years. You know what the best thing about staying home with parents is? That you always get to be little again. Food is my mom's love language. It's also my mom's way of saying sorry without having to say sorry, if you know what I mean. So let's say if she wants to apologize to more than one person, probably gonna make the whole fist. But I don't blame her because nothing beats that coffee on a Sunday afternoon. But I have to be honest, after 2 years since I left my parents' home to be on my personal journey on the other half of the earth, well, sometimes I miss being. After all, it's also a Vietnamese mother's love language. The countryside is the only place that is quieter than the city. It is where my grandparents live, 30 minutes away from the city, where you can find the kindest, honest people on earth. There is no traffic lights around here, and people mostly use small traditional boats to get from place to place, which are also their work partners. I remember being here every weekend ever since I was a kid. I was always stealing Granny's cookies in the kitchen and running around the backyard garden with chickens. 15 years later, that little girl is still stealing cookies. Except now she also steals vintage stuff in the house. Come on, honestly, where else would you find cooler old stuff than at Grandma's house? I love that every member in my big family makes sure to spend time with grandparents once or twice a month. We usually stay together till dawn and get back to the city. And of course, Granny won't let you leave her house with empty hands. I feel like every day living here, I have nothing to do but think about what to eat next. This is me with my $2 meal at 9 a.m. in the morning. My typical day will continue with lunchtime exactly at 12. That includes a rice pot, stir-fried dish, steamed veggies, a soup, and protein. Then at 4 p.m., we're down for a quick snack. So I went to grab some bánh chuối nước cốt dừa. And before the food having a chance to digest, we're already there for dinner. Dinner usually the most fancy meal in a day, so we always out for something extra. Then the next day, me and my little sister start the morning with my favorite local bánh mì chảo, before joining lunch with the family in another typical meal. Today we have lẩu cua đồng, khoai môn chiên nước mắm. Then voila, it's already nighttime. So it's time for family nhậu. After all, I only have 42 days here, so I have to make every day count. Then the day after that, I show up at my childhood pho restaurant at 7 a.m. Now tell me, how can I have a perfect pho morning without having a side thick and hộp ghẹ and a Vietnamese milk coffee? It's always nice when your sister is married nearby, so you can stop by to be a cool auntie and a passerby food critics. Best thing about Vietnam for me is that I can get seafood fresh out of the water with much cheaper price, and I can turn those seafood into banger dishes in less than 15 minutes. I feel like this video has lost its initial purpose and is slowly turning into a food tour vlog. So, where do you go when life gets too much? I too have those times when I need to press the pause button and hide away from the world. But where can I go? Not that, when big cities are way too bustling and hometowns start to become a little boring. Đà is a socially acceptable getaway destination on a national level. In fact, I think a necessary 48 to 72 hours escape to this heaven at least once a year should be officially encouraged. That life is for slow living. So I will also slower down my storytelling. I came to Đà Lạt on a rainy day in March. This beautiful city seems even more peaceful and romantic on gloomy days. I remember the first time I visited the city with my parents when I was just a little 4-year-old girl. Then I came back a couple of times in my teenage years. Then returned again with my boyfriend back then a few years ago in my early 20s. Like a cycle I don't want to break. Somehow I found myself here once again, but this time in my quarter-life crisis. Oh wow, this kind of weather. Must be a crime not to take a nap in this weather. So, what to talk about when we talk about Đà Lạt? Đà Lạt is all about the vibe, calm and peaceful as it is. Nothing exists in mind but pure pleasure. It is a place that I run to when I feel chaotic. I know you don't come to expect that your brain will unclog and your problem will magically fade away. But at least it is my quiet place to silence the mind. Night in the city is different. How can you say you've been to LA without blending in with the crowd of a night market? My favorite activity of all time here is cracking a grilled egg and sitting on a plastic monoblock chair, observing people occupied with their choices of street food. I never get home before midnight every time staying in the city, not without my late night snack, and I never come back to the homestay without having a sữa chua phô mai, bánh mì chả Liên Hoa, and hot milk from Mrs. Nhung Béo in hands. Now you may be wondering, why don't I take time to sit down and bite that crispy bánh mì and slowly drink up that hot soy milk under the chilly weather because that's what's past the vibe check, right? I know, just not today. Because I'm old now, and 12:30 is way passing my bedtime.
Hỏi em có muốn breakfast in bed không? Em cảm ơn nhưng mà không anh, em là người Việt Nam.
Our bedtime. The second day comes rapidly, and yesterday I decided that I have to wake up early this morning for the one-of-a-kind bánh căn lệ.
Chủ nhật này đón anh tới nhà anh sẽ đưa em đi chơi xa. Chủ nhật này sẽ xin phép mẹ hai đứa đi dòng chơi một ngày. Chủ nhật đẹp sẽ may áo đẹp không có ai gian xinh như em. Anh sẽ vui mãi cùng với em.
8 a.m. in the morning with empty stomach. Here we are, happily dipped in our soft, warm, spongy bánh căn and these flavorful sauces. The portion is quite a lot for 2 people. So we debated for a while and finally compromised with 2 more desserts, which totally worth it. We only have less than 48 hours in the city. That means we have to finish our morning ritual before squeezing any impulsive decision in our schedule. And that morning ritual is spending some coffee times at the timeless Café Tuần. Nem nướng bà Hồng. One of my favorite dishes. I asked a local woman yesterday to suggest me some food that originally from Đà Lạt, and she said there is no such thing like that because Đà Lạt is a place where people from all over the country come together and bring a little taste of their hometown with them. Well, pretty much like Saigon, isn't it? By the way, this is a must try. Well, this is or pork nipples, I don't know. And yes, since we are high maintenance but lazy, yes, we do think shampooing is necessary after having a barbecue session. "24 hours left. We started our breakfast with bánh mì xíu mại.
Sao những cái hành đó thấy sợ quá để quên.
Well, I don't feel like we're gonna be full with this, so we already think of what to eat next. Actually, at this point, our definition of taking a break to Đà Lạt is to bless our lung with fresh air and bless our stomach with good food. Oh, and nice coffee spots. Do you hear it? You see, sometimes I forgot this is all the point. It was raining that afternoon, so lẩu gà lá é plus rainy weather equals our edible happiness formula. We need help with our runny nose the last 2 days anyway. Do you know what's gonna also change your mood on a gloomy day like this? Sugar. Look at that. Whoever came up with this combo is a genius. I mean, avocado and ice cream? That's brilliant. I love avocado. Who wouldn't love ice cream? By this time of the day, both of us were falling into the food coma, so we became pretty abnormal. You see, I told you Sugar never let you down. After that, we decided to end the day with a very mid-20s activity.
Chào các bạn, lại là mình đây.
And that is how we end our last day here. It is finally time to leave this beloved place. We treated ourselves to one last ride in the city before drifting back into Saigon's hustle and bustle, wrapping things up after 72 hours in that leg. Couldn't have asked for more, and I enjoy every second of it. Except for the runny nose. Kind of a shame for someone who lived with snow for 2 years. Thank you for a full belly and a happy heart. Đà Lạt. Until next time. That's me, Amy Holy Fooplong. You know, if I have to choose one combo to start a day, it's gonna be their black milk tea and salted egg croissant. Sometimes I have it twice a day. About a week before my vacation in Vietnam ends, I went back to Saigon one last time. After a very short 5 days journey to China with my mom. This time is all about good time for my friends. Wait, why does this one make more sense than my outfit? Yes, obviously this has become an addiction. Anyway, back to my friends. I love my friends, but sometimes they spoil me a little bit much. Like today, they know I love Japanese cuisine and sweet pastries, so somehow we always end up at either Japanese restaurants or bakery shops. You guys, among these friends, some of us has just known each other for a year or two, some go back over a decade, and some just met not so long.
Đây là món gì nhỉ?
Cơm chiên dưa bò.
We all have one thing in common. We support each other in becoming better. Tonight I stay over at my friend's house. I always feel so thankful to be surrounded by such caring friends, especially gay friends. They are the best ones. My gay friends are like my big brothers and sisters. They are so protective over you. Don't even let me start on the love language. I mean, look at me right now. Went from, sure, you can come over, to, I've got a vinyl I think you're gonna like. And now here I am, surrounded by the whole mood, feeling so loved. I've always been a little jealous of him for having such a snug little corner tucked away in the chaos of Saigon. Very well, good night. Only a couple of days left. The final week hits differently. I can't believe my 6-week trip is already coming to an end. Even though I gave myself 2 days to say the last goodbye to Saigon, did all the things I was meant to do, met all the beloved ones I needed to see, and went to places that I need to go. For instance, visiting temple. Although I'm not officially follow any specific religion, I always have this habit of visiting those places before a flight or before something important. It's like a must-do for me. So, everything on the list is checked off. At this point, very deep down inside, my heart is so already racing to get back home to where my parents are. Especially my little sister, who just turned 14 this year. We're both Pisces, and she's in her teenage years now. So I want to be around and be there for her while she still let me in. If I have to point out one thing I love about my parents' home, it is how the house is always surrounded by flowers. All of them was planted by my father for the 3 women in his home. I just don't get why the flowers he chose always end up in pink or purple. My mom wonders the same, but we appreciate the effort. He even installed this little outdoor sunroom for my mom, so she don't have to go to the spa. So shout out to my green flag daddy. It is finally just 3 days until my flight, and I'm feeling all kinds of mixed emotions. I've already packed most of my stuff into my luggage. Lately, my little sister been bringing home random food she knows I would love. I wish I didn't have to leave so soon. Hey guys, go shopping with me. For the food I can't live without. Yes please. Childhood crush, yes please. Stock up, this I love. Seasoning, noodles, this I love. Iconic, but we don't need that. We're famous, can get it anywhere in the world. Very well. That's like $200. I love Vietnam. I try to hold myself together and not get emotional. But mommy kept watching me the whole way until I disappear behind the passport gate. No matter where I go or how old I get, I will always be her little baby. Toronto weather has not changed a lot since I left, but I know spring is coming. We got some sunny days, and we got the gloomy days. I come back to my normal boring life as usual, which is actually not so bad. At least I enjoy spending time alone. And I've been having a good time back home, so that's okay. I still make time to catch up with my friends sometimes. Try to go out of town every weekend. Embrace the little joys in life. But little do you know, what are the things that actually softens the everyday? The comfort food that I brought with me all the way here. It kind of makes me feel I'm not that far away from home. Besides, they are also my backup dopamine for those download days, just in case. I live in Midtown, about 15 minutes away from downtown. Here, people do not rush for green light. There is no honking, no street craze, no chaotic traffic, or unorganized eateries. Everything functions in this, I don't know, calm, simple, and systematic kind of way. I guess it is the way things run here that somehow helps me feel more mentally grounded. The days here are longer in summer and shorter in winter. Day after day passes in a settled, peaceful way. It feels worlds apart from the bustling life back in Vietnam. I feel I've changed a lot over the past 3 years. Mentally, physically, and emotionally. Living far away from home means you have to learn how to be your own support system. How to comfort yourself in quiet moments. and how to hold yourself together on hard days. I'm also a little proud that I've managed to do so many things that I once thought I never could. Life has been tough, huh? But in your resilience, you grew so beautiful. I've come to accept the fact that everything will change. Seasons change, people change, our priorities change. Even the place that I live in, this little midtown, I changed it twice. Still, there are certain things in me that I know will never change. Việt Nam. I'll see you again soon.